It is Sunday, September 6, 2020, and this is your China Update. We have 4 pieces of information to cover today, including flooding affects over 6.8 million people in China's Hunan province this year. Also, courtesy of India blooms, food shortages slowly distorting Xi Jinping-led China superpower dream. Next, courtesy of Mano Daily News, Future Files, China boosts pork and beans. We also have some new photos and some new footage. Let's hop into it. And this comes courtesy of Xinhua. Flooding affects over 6.8 million people in China's Hunan province this year. A total of 6.86 million people were affected by rain-triggered floods this year in central China's Hunan province, local authorities said on Friday. Downpours in the province have led to the deaths of 24 people, according to the provincial flood control and drought relief headquarters. Roughly 21,300 houses collapsed or were severely damaged, and about 628,000 hectares of farmlands were damaged by the heavy rains. Direct economic losses amounted to 14.63 billion yuan. That's about 2.14 billion US dollars, according to official statistics. As of Wednesday, Hunan province had suffered 24 incidences of heavy rainfall this year, with a cumulative rainfall total of 1,299.4 millimeters. And the last paragraph of the article says that China expects to have post-disaster reconstruction completed by the end of December 2020. And this comes courtesy of India blooms, food shortages and nosediving bank profits. How floods and a pandemic slowly distorted Xi Jinping-led China superpower dream. Beijing might have an eye on becoming a global superpower, but presently it is struggling to feed its people. If reports are to be believed, a number of factors have directly contributed to the food shortage, despite Chinese authorities rejecting such theories. China's surging population, the growing industrial economy, and an increase in consumerism have given rise to demand for agricultural products, according to a Forbes report. Apart from the aforementioned factors, floods have played a key part in disrupting China's food stability. Li Kungang, an official of the Emergency Management Ministry, has warned of another flooding during autumn. It is the first time that 3 major river basins experienced a regional or above average flood since 1998, the official said at a press conference on Thursday. China has already imported more wheat in the first half of 2020 than it has in the first half of any year in the past decade. Not just wheat, China has also bought corn in bulk from the United States of America. The world's second largest corn producer, China is expected to hold 65% of the world's corn inventories at the end of this crop year. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, the corn buying might be linked to the early arrival of the fall armyworm. Based on field and industry reporting, fall armyworm has spread across the Yangtze River and entered central China, reaching the border of Hunan province earlier this growing season than it did during last season, it said. Fall armyworm's movement to northern China this year has occurred at least 3 months earlier than last year, making it highly likely that the pest will establish itself in northeast China, the largest corn-producing region in China. While some industry contacts and academics predict the country will suffer a corn deficit and corresponding soaring prices this year, the Chinese government released their official estimate that corn production will decline only 2.5% due to the pest, it added. The Asian powerhouse's panic buying of soybeans from the U.S. also suggests that the country is indeed facing a food shortage. China's June imports of soybeans from Brazil were up a staggering 91% from the year prior, said the Forbes report. It is worth noting that year to date, China is on pace to make its highest rate of U.S. soybean purchases since 2014, it said. However, experts believe China's real food security problem arises from food wastage. The country's per capita food waste is 93 grams per person per meal, with a waste rate of 11.7%, says an Economic Times report. Thank you for watching this video. If you're finding it informative, please consider giving the channel a subscribe. And this comes courtesy of Minot Daily News. Future Files, China boosts pork and beans. Hog prices shot to a 3-month high on Friday, trading over 60 cents per pound for the first time since May. Pork is getting pricier as foreign buyers, especially China, look to the U.S. to supply their meat demand. China lost millions of pigs last year to an epidemic, African swine fever, leaving them facing a pork shortage. Meanwhile, U.S. slaughterhouse demand is finally returning to pre-pandemic levels. For months, U.S. meatpackers had slowed down or shuttered plants as a result of pandemic outbreaks in their tightly packed facilities. Rising domestic demand is helping hogs rebound from the abysmal low they reached in April of 37 cents. Despite the 60% price gain seen since April, Friday's price of 59.5 cents per pound for October lean hog futures is still too low for many pig farmers to make profit, leaving them hoping for even more demand. Unfortunately, they likely won't see the demand from American grocery shoppers, who have been slowing their meat purchases and are likely to buy even less after Labor Day, traditionally the end of the summer grilling season. Soybeans exceeded a 2-year high on Friday, valued over $9.70 per bushel. The market has been soaring higher, predominantly on Chinese demand. China is the world's largest soybean importer and has been aggressively contracting to buy this fall's U.S. soybean harvest. China broke records with its purchases of last year's crop and is expected to buy even more this year. Despite its protestations that China has sufficient food, the Asian giant was the top buyer of U.S. corn, wheat, and pork exports last week as well. Looking ahead, the size of this fall's bean crop is still in doubt, but farmers will begin harvesting in the coming weeks, giving a clearer picture to the upcoming supply. Meanwhile, Brazil is beginning to plant what could be the world's largest soybean crop in history, a factor that could weigh on prices next spring after their harvest. As of Friday, November soybeans traded for $9.68, a price that will continue to be reactive to foreign factors. The Chicago commodity exchanges will be closed on Monday due to the Labor Day holiday. And our last piece of information is a series of interesting tweets. And I think that's a good place to wrap up today's video. I hope that you found it informative, and check back soon for more content.